Okay, Salam Alaikum, word video 5. Okay, so if they promote death, the white female perspective of death, then they can promote the white male perspective of death. So if they can promote her as the white, if they promote her as, you know, the divine mother, then they can promote death, the father, as the divine father, right? So, and in promoting that, it's like if you want to have, you know, a moral and pious husband, you want to get a white one, right? You want to have you want to go look to the face of God. You want to get one that looks most like God. You want to get the one that looks most like Christ. You want to have a woman, a good woman. You want to get one that looks most like the Virgin Mother. You don't want to get, you want to get a bad wife, then you get the one that looks most like Satan. You get the one that looks and acts like Satan. You get the whore of Babylon. And then they promote the black man as the Satan and the black woman as the whore, right? And so oppress them to that position, right? And in poverty, right? Using poverty, right? And socioeconomic injustice, right? Injustice, right? So then you can make society say, oh, you don't want. Then you can begin to create this racism and the war between humanity. When in reality, as I said, all humanity, you know, at some point will. You know, humanity was destined to evolve toward white. Okay? As humanity goes through a cycle, right? But the closer, that was a timeline to let us know if we get into white, then we got to back up and get closer to the root. Okay? But they want to project that the more you get to white, the better you are, the better you feel. Okay, so everybody should want to be white. Get away from the root. Get away from life. Go closer to death. Get closer to them, right? Get closer to death. Get closer to the reptilian race of beings, right? Get closer to the Pope. Get closer to Satan, okay? Get closer to intercoursing with Satan, okay? And that's what you have. To intercourse with Satan, one has to be what? Homosexual. One has to be homosexual to intercourse with Satan. They have to be a brother fucker. Okay? They have to be a brother fucker. Okay? So that's what they want. They want the humanity to be close to Satan. So promote death, promote racism, make everybody think the closer you are to white, the closer you are to Christ, the closer you are to being a white man, the closer you are to God, the closer you are to being a white woman, the closer you are to being like the Virgin Mother, holiness. The closer you are to being white, the closer you are to holiness. The closer you are to black, the closer you are to evil. Right? When it's the opposite. The closer you are to white, the closer you are to death. The closer you are to black, the closer you are to life. Okay? Because you have more life in front. Humanity has more life in front of it being black, the close to the root, than they have it being toward the end of the root. Okay? Yeah, the children have more longevity being closer to the root than they do closer to the end part of being the further away from the root they go, right? So you want to stay as close to the root or somewhere and keep your close. You want to stay close to your roots. Okay? Bottom line, you want to stay close to your roots. Okay? You want to have some hue in you. Okay? Because like I said, humanity was going to get white. We were going to get white. That was apparent. We an old race of human beings. We ain't as young as people think we are. We're an old race of human beings. We've been here a while. Okay? Being white tells us that. Okay? So the whiter we get, the less lifetime that, you know, branch of the family tree has. Okay, and you can look at it at the fact that that branch of the family tree is not procreating as many children. They're growing barren. Okay? And that's because humanity is aged. Okay? Those are the white branch of the family is of the root as well. They just far from it, and they gotta come back. That's why at this time you gotta come home. You gotta start coming home. You gotta come walking toward the root. Okay? You gotta intercourse at the root, from the root. Okay? Okay. So that your children will have to give longevity to your children. That's what it's about. Okay? Okay. Okay, they want you to get closer to death because they want humanity to die because Satan, Iblis, is jealous of humanity. Okay? And that is the total tree of humanity. Whether we be at the root or we be far from the root, they're still jealous. They hate us from the root to the shoot. From the root to the fruit, they don't like us. Okay? It don't matter how much hue we got. They don't like our humanity. Okay? They don't like us being golden children of the sun because whether we're close to the root or not, we still got soul. And that's what they hate. They hate our soul. They hate our humanity. Okay? They want our soul. Okay? Because it comes with benefits, right? Spiritual benefits, right? That's why they're trying to manipulate it by emitting this, toxic, corrupt energy, into the celestial sphere so humanity can absorb it, right? And corrupt our spiritual energy to create corrupt DNA, right? Okay. What they create energy alchemy. That's what they do. When they do all these false flags, they're putting energy alchemy, spiritual alchemy in the universe. And then humanity absorbs this spiritual alchemy, just like DNA is a biological alchemy. Okay? Well, when they create spiritual alchemy, it has the body observe it, the neural system observes it, and then what? It has an effect on the brain. It's processed a certain way and has a certain effect and has it causes a certain behavior, and that's the one they want, to have an ill behavior. That way the spirit is corrupted, and then what? Satan can intercourse with the person, right? When the spirit is corrupt, because he can't intercourse with a pure spirit. The spirit has to be corrupted. That's why they want to change the world to, a great deal of homosexuals, because they figure they can corrupt humanity that way. Okay? But again, only Allah is the judge. Allah is the judge, because we don't create ourselves. So we can't go out judging people, hurting people because of the lifestyle they live. It is their life. It is their free will. They can do what the heck they want. Okay? So I'm just giving you the means by how it's achieved. Okay? But if you want to live that way, it's totally up to you. Okay? I'm not the judge. Allah is the judge. Okay? So, again, and it's not the LGBT brothers and sisters that are doing this stuff. They're not out there trying to create spiritual, spiritual alchemy. They don't do that. They're not trying to do that. They're simply trying to live, understand themselves, and get love, be loved. They want to be loved too. Okay? And they didn't harm themselves. They didn't do that. They didn't do that to them. They didn't create themselves. They are of the woman too. We have to love them. Okay? We have to love them. The LGBT, not the brother fucking Vatican. We don't have to love them. Okay? Okay. Anyway, so the only begotten is against the children of the Son, right? Now, the children are followers. Okay, so to create a race war. There are two races, right? The race of the ones who have that the children of life and the children of death, right? So there are two races, two breeds: the reptilian race or the dragon race, and the human race. The children of the golden sun or the children of Christ, and the children of Satan. Okay? Not Saturn, but Satan. Satan as in Iblis. Okay? Known as the reptile or the blue bloods, right? Okay. Now we cannot say the LGBT community are children of Satan. We can't go around saying that either, but we can say the brotherfuckers are, because they made a choice to be that way and to serve Iblis. That's why they chose to be that way, because that's the only way they can serve Iblis. But the LGBT community are not trying to serve Iblis, okay? Many of them try to be good Christians, good believe. They try to hold true to the spiritual beliefs, doctrines, okay? So we can't hurt them. We cannot judge them. We can only, pray for our brothers and sisters, okay? Now, but those blue bloods, okay, who choose Iblis, who choose Satan, okay, who choose to, corrupt the spiritual, to create that spiritual toxic alchemy, those are the ones that we don't have to love. Okay, those are the ones that are at war with life. Those are the children of death. Okay, the LGBT community is not the children of death. Okay, they want life just as much as everybody else. They try to do good in life. They contribute to life. They don't try to take life, whereas the brotherfuckers try to take life. Okay, those are the ones that I'm talking about. Okay, there's two kinds of homosexuals. Okay, they're the children of those are the ones that serve life, and then there's those that take life. Those are the ones of Iblis. Those are the ones of Satan. Okay? Okay. Now, in the LGBT community, they don't try to take life. Okay? Anyway, so, okay, the only begotten, so there's a race war, right? Okay. So the only, okay, let me make sure I got that. Okay. The only begotten, the only begotten of the Christ consciousness, right? With the Christ consciousness, the soul, right? Those with the soul are against the only begotten, have been, the only begotten children of Satan are against the only begotten children of Christ, right? Then that of the Christ, what I mean by Christ is the soul, the sun, the energy, okay? Okay, that spirit, that spiritual energy. Okay? Okay, so the children of life, that is Christ consciousness, are being preyed upon by the children of death, right? The reptilian blue bloods, the children of Satan. The Babylonians, okay, with the Babylonian consciousness, those with the blue blood, the brotherfuckers, the Babylonian blue blood brotherfuckers of the Nordic breed, okay, and elsewhere and otherwise, okay. So they are Zionists, in their Zionist folklore, are placed against the Christ, the nation of Solomon, right? The nation of Solomon, right? The soul, okay, okay. And they are the blue brotherfuckers are Zionist Gentile Christians, and they are followers of the fallen woman, right? They're the fallen woman, but it's really not the fallen woman. It's really Satan, right? Iblis, the one who's perpetrating himself as a woman, right? The Baphomet, right? Okay. And this is the whore of Babylon. The Baphomet is the whore of Babylon, okay? And that's why we have the black and white. The black and white would be, black would be life and white would be death, right? As it relates to the timeline of how much time a human being has to contribute to their descendants, right? Okay, so, but they turn that into a race war, right? Where black and white are not equal. Black is inferior, white is superior, where death is superior to life, and so life is evil and death is good. Death is holy and life is bad, but they make you think the opposite, that black is life, death, and white is life. It's just the opposite, right? Okay, and while white is not evil, but certainly you want a long life for your children, your generations to come, right? Okay. Okay, so the children or followers in the race war, okay, the children or followers of the, wait. Okay, the children are in a race war, a battle to annihilate each other. They're in a race war to annihilate each other, just like matter and antimatter, right? As was the case in the Trojan War, as is the case with Jazzazadrunk and his desire to ignite World War III. The Battle of Armageddon is to be a clash of the titans, a clash of the gods between the Christ and Satan, between the only begotten Son and the only begotten Saturn, who does what? Takes the life of the soul, right? As it passes the winter solstice. As it passes at the winter solstice, right? Okay. The darkest time of the year, right? Okay. Now, so the two faces of the man and the woman represent the mother, the two faces of the woman represent a mother, Aphrodite, and the second face in the Babylon religion, right? As it represents, what does it represent? It represents the fallen woman, okay? As it's supposed to represent Satan, right? But Satan is not represented by the woman; it's represented by the man, right? At the Vatican, right? Okay. So that's misleading intentionally. Okay, and the two faces of man is supposed to be represented by the sun and Uranus, right? The sun, which is Leo, the king, and who's the lion king, right? He's supposed to be the lion king, and Uranus, right, which is to be, okay, the husband or the phallic of man, right, and Saturn is supposed to be the husband, right, the father, the lion king, the husband, Uranus, the mother, Cancer, the wife, Saturn, husband and wife, mother and father. Mother and father at the top, husband and wife at the bottom. Husband and wife and undercover, mother and wife, from, in the, outside the covers, right? Okay. But they got it represented something totally crazy, right? Okay. So, those are the two faces, right, of man and woman, right? Okay. Okay. And but they have it, representing life and death, right? Okay. 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 So the wrath of so the two faces of Venus represents Mother Aphrodite, and which is life, and the other, which was hell, which was Saturn, which were supposed to represent death, right? The wrath of hell is her son Satan, right? Or Thor. Thor is to represent Satan. Okay, is the wrath of hell. Okay, which is the hellfire, right? Okay, as he is wrath's child. Hell's wrath is at the root of the Gentile barbarian Khazar Vatican synagogue of Satan or Saturn. Reptilian, it's a reptilian because of Mars, right? Scorpion. Reptilian British Zionist, Israeli fascist. They are British. British Zionist Israeli converts, right? Okay. Now, hell's wrath is the spiritual key to comprehending all the racism they systematically globally practice to fragment all humanity born of the celestial, divine, and beautiful Aphrodite, right? Daughter of what? Daughter of Uranus, right? She's a daughter of Uranus, right? Okay. So, referred to and represented by Venus, the morning star. They represent, meaning the two faces of Venus, they represent different bloodlines, okay? Though she's one supposed to be one deity, represents two different bloodlines, right? The bloodline of Mars, the reptiles, and which is controlled by Satan, right? And the bloodline of the children of the sun. Okay, so therefore she has two husbands, right? She's supposed to have two husbands. One the sun, one Mars, right? One of reptile, when she has children by both, the Christ and the children of Satan, right? Okay. Which is probably more likely to, I would think that Satan would be Mars's child, Mars, the child of Mars. But we won't go there because we haven't done our complete investigation, right? Okay, so, okay, so, okay. Okay, so we said they represent two different bloodlines, that of the sun and that of Mars, Scorpio, the reptile, brothers of a different father. So the two brothers are put at odds with one another, the brother of death and the brother of life. The black brother, the Lion King of life, and that will be Apollo, by the way. Apollo, represented by Apollo, the sun. And it would be the black sun, right? The holy black sun, or the soul, right? And Mars, the warmonger, right? It's supposed to be the deity of death, right? Okay. So they're put odds to each other, and death is supposed to be represented by what? White. So we have the black and the white brothers fighting each other because they're supposed to have the same mother, Venus, right? The Aphrodite, right? The Aphrodite, right? They have the same mother, but they're put at odds because their fathers are at odds, life and death, right? She conceives a child by life, and she conceives a child by death, right? Mars representing death, life representing the sun, right? And the sun takes the life. But why are they at odds? Because death needs to take the life of death needs to take the life of life in order for death to have life. That's why it's imperative from the perspective of death to take the life of life, right? Okay. That's why they're at odds, because one needs to get life because it's death. It can't live without life. It can't live without the soul. So it has to take the soul, right? The soul is the life. That's why they buy the soul, because death has to take the soul in order for it to live, right? So that is why we have the race wars, okay? Because Iblis needs to take life because he has none, and he does so by making the white man think he's the child of Satan. He makes the white man think he's the child of Iblis. He's the child of Mars. He has a different father than the black man, when in reality you both have the same soul from the same sun. Okay? You both have the same mother and you both have the same father. It's just that one is older than the other. Okay? One brother is older than the other. Okay? And that's why it's reflected in his pale skin. And if he goes back closer to the root, okay, he will pass that longer life off to his descendants. Okay? Okay. But they make them think they're of two different bloodlines. One of the reptile, one of the devil, one of Mars. But he tries to trick them and make them think, oh, your white skin makes you superior. No, it doesn't. It makes you inferior genetically. Okay? It makes your children have shorter lives. The assurance of longevity. You need to get back to the root. You've been lied to. You've been deceived by Iblis, by Satan. Okay? By the Pope, because the Vatican started all this shit. The Vatican started slavery. It wasn't or it wasn't common Europeans. Common Europeans didn't think about that crap. They didn't think about, oh, let's travel the ocean blue and let's get some black people from Africa and then and especially from the nation of Jacob and from Ethiopia and let's enslave them and let's steal their legacy. You know, if white people really hated black people, why would they want to steal their legacy? It ain't the white people, the European people that did that. That's stupid. They didn't think about, oh, let's take their children and rename their children. White people in Europe, that happened to white people in Europe too. If I remember correctly, those hordes, barbarian hordes, did the same thing, cutting off feet and doing all that stuff to the European people too. Okay. It was the Vatican came up with the idea of enslaving black African people from the nation of Jacob and all this kind of stuff and stealing the legacy and trying to take over not Babylon, but trying to take over Jerusalem and Palestine so they could rebuild Babylon. It wasn't ordinary common white people who thought about that. Common white people were persecuted and oppressed too. Okay? So common Europeans don't hate black people. They didn't think of these terrible, terrible ideas. They got white people thinking they're superior. Yeah, and that's stupid, you know. And white people need to think beyond that, you know. And that's why you got to leave this Babylonian consciousness. But it was the Vatican that came up with all this slavery and stuff. It was the Vatican that came up with this shit. Okay? So it was the brotherfuckers who came up with this shit. These Zionist brotherfuckers, these British synagogue of Satan, these Zionists that came up with that. It wasn't the common white people. So they do that to make their numbers larger, to create a barrier, to create these race wars so they could be secure in doing this shit. But it wasn't white people that did this. Okay, it wasn't Jews that did this. It wasn't Christians that did this. It wasn't Muslims that did this. It was these Zionist bastards that did this shit. Okay, starting with the Vatican. Okay, that started this slavery and all this shit. Okay. So, they created two different bloodlines. Okay. Now that is okay, and as we said, one of Scorpio or the one of Mars, the supposedly reptiles, and the sun, right? The children of the black sun, the black soul, right? The children of the black soul. It is many, okay, and the reptilians are the blue bloods, right? And they embrace this as their own mutilated, dragged out whore of Babylon, warmongering, barbarian, reptilian, who believe themselves to be alien species, and I believe they are too, of that spirit of Iblis, right? Okay, of Satan, right? Not Saturn. Saturn is good. Saturn is a woman. Not Saturn. Not Satan, but Saturn. Satan is a man. Okay? Iblis is a male spirit. It's not a woman spirit. Iblis is a male spirit. Okay? That's why they brother fuckers. That's why he fucked them, man. That's why the Vatican gets those popes and all that kind of stuff. They fuck each other, and that's why they rape little children, little boys, right? Because it's a part of their religion, right? To steal their soul, right? Now, so the sons of the evening star are also sons of the morning star, right? And whether they're white, black, or any other thing between, whether they're from the root to the fruit, they're of the morning star. And the evening star is the same Venus, right? Okay. The same Aphrodite, okay? But they make the underworld, which is the cover of night, right? Is supposed to be ruled by Satan, right? So the nighttime is ruled by Satan and the day is ruled by the sun, right? Which in reality, the nighttime is supposed to be the man and the woman, the husband and the wife, you know, together, like the new moon, right? Okay? Intercoursing, right? At night, okay? Like they did when they were honeymooning at the spring equinox, not the spring equinox, but the summer solstice, okay? The winter solstice is it's like a new moon, right? But it would be like a new sun, right? Because that's when the sun becomes brand new, right? So at least it should become brand new, like a new moon. You can't see the sun; it stands still for 3 days, right? But it's with its moon, right? It's having fun, right? Okay, at the summer solstice, right? At the winter solstice, right? Okay. So that is on, let's say it's on the second honeymoon. The first honeymoon at the summer solstice, second honeymoon at the winter solstice, right? Okay, the hottest time and the coldest time, they're to be together, the man and the man and the woman, right? But they make you think that's okay. But they and that's when they're together, their second honeymoon intercourse. But what they do, the barbarian Babylonians, right? They make the person intercourse. They try to steal that soul and intercourse, okay? Intercourse with Satan, right? The Vatican, the synagogue of Satan, right? Okay. So the sons of Venus, of the morning star, and the sons are the sons of light, right? And the sons of the evening star are supposed to be the sons of are black, right? And they're the sons of the night, right? The sons of the night, which is not true, right? Because what do they do with the so-called church of not the church, but the England, right? They're called knights, right? Of the crown, English crown, right? They're called knights, right? Because those are her white knights, right? Knight, it's meaning the same thing. Sons of Satan, okay? Sons of Baal, right? Babylonian, okay, which is supposed to be represented by the bull, Taurus, right? When mankind sins, right? Okay, so the sons of the day do not see the sons of the night, okay? Though the sons of the night see very well the sons of the day, right? Because they stand out, they stick out, right? My goodness, how much more do we have? I have to do this another time. Okay, I don't feel like it. Let me see, what do we have here? Okay. Let's see how much I got here. Oh, let me see how much we got. That's not that much. I'll finish it. Okay, we're going to go to video. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go to video 6. Okay, let me see. Okay. So, okay, let me see. Okay, so the blue blood brother fuckers, okay, are attempting to steal the legacy, okay, of the nation, okay, and that's the Vatican. Remember, they're the ones who started this transatlantic slave trade, right? Okay, because they wanted. Well, we know why they started. Okay. So I think I'm gonna end it here. So I'm like, why does it do that? So I'm gonna